Hello, my name is Carl Malacalza, and I'm finishing therapy on right knee replacement. I chose to use the X10 as part of my therapy, and I'm glad I did. It's a wonderful machine. It's going to set up a screen in which I'm able to raise and lower my leg. The other adjustment that's necessary is a strap. This strap has to hold down the calf while you're using the X10. So now I'm all set to use it. There's a range of motion button, and once you hit that, it allows you to start. There's a starting level that's determined initially when you go in. So it's right now it's raising it to 22 degrees in terms of the extension, and it's going down, and it's going to bend my knees it's set for 88. And those are arbitrary numbers depending on how it's set up. All right, so at this point, I would start adjusting where I want it to be. This is a 5-minute warm-up. Before I go through a lot of that, first of all, I found the company to be extremely responsive. So that was a good experience. And the people that I work with from the X10 were people that are really dedicated to this machine in seeing that it's used and helpful for them, for whoever is using them. As my leg moves up and down, it does it slowly, so it allows the bend to gradually take place. And right now I went from 88 to 91, and the elongation will be going up to 8. Now there's automatic safeguards on this, so that you never really have to worry about hurting yourself because you're trying too hard. I'm near the end of my use of the X10. I'm 3 weeks into the operation, and my leg is doing really well. When you have your knee replacement, what happens is there's a tremendous amount of swelling. And if you don't expect it, that swelling also stops you from really moving beyond a certain point. When it gets to the bottom position or it gets to the top position, it holds it for 10 seconds, and that gives it that knee to stretch. When it goes to the top position, the strap is what's causing the leg not to elevate. And that's probably the weakest part of the system, because eventually it's going to say that I'm at 0, but I'm not really at 0. At least when I went to the actual physical therapy, when it had 0, I was at physical therapy at 9. The exercises they suggested doing was pressing on the top here, and you could see the knee goes down when you do that. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but that's where that difference is. And so I've been doing that in terms of the extension. On the bend, I just think it's pretty accurate and relative. You know, the thing is, this is assisted bend. It's not your natural bend. And the same with the extension. It's assisted extension. So the expectation in the beginning for me was that the two were the same, and they're not. When I went the first time to PT, my extension was 11 and now it's 9. That it needs to be 0, and the machine in each case recorded 0 because it's not attached that directly down here. On the bend, I'm at 110, you know, and I will be at 120 or around 120. So there's about a 10-degree difference between the assisted motion of the X10 and the actual bend that you can do on your own. But I know that when I had my other leg, I didn't have the X10. It seemed to me it took a lot longer. I didn't keep track as well, but it seemed to me it took a lot longer for me to get the bend. I think this has definitely increased my bending motion. So to wrap up, I think it's a worthwhile investment. I think you need to commit yourself, if you get it, to using it the 3 times a day that they suggest you use it. It means a commitment of 35 minutes. And actually the time goes pretty quickly because you're constantly using the screen to adjust. This is not the case. But you can see how slowly it moves, and I really like that. I don't know if it reduced any of my swelling initially. My leg swelling was about the same that I experienced with my left leg, and it doesn't happen until a couple of days after the operation. Fortunately, the doctor I used has something called a pain pump. I didn't have that with my other leg, and so for the first 3 or 4 days, you really, with the pain pump, it affects the nervous system, the nerves that go over the top of the knee. You really have no problem bending and also straightening. And then you got to be careful of a little bit too. So right now I'm at 115. So I'm 5 degrees more than I'm able to do at the PT. And it feels tight on the top. As I continue, as it goes up and down, that stiffness on the top loosens up. And that's why you can keep on increasing the degree. So at this point I would do it 1 degree at a time until I get it to a point that I feel is manageable. I'm at 120 at that point. So again, now I'm on to my vertical. It's 0, it stays there. If I press down here, I can see the fact that my leg straightens out more, and that helps with the straightening process. And in fact, I can leave it, stop it, pause it, and leave it in that position if I want just the natural weight of the leg to work on that knee straightening. And I've used it for that purpose as well. I hope this helps. I think it's a worthwhile investment. My